Good afternoon, all. Bureau of Energy Efficiency have recently launched the voluntary phase of the standard and levy program for the tires. And first of all, I want to show you about the what is Bureau of Energy Efficiency. That it is a statutory body under Ministry of Power, Government of India, and it was established under the provisions of Energy Conservation Act 2001, which became implemented in 2002, first of March. And Bureau was set up with a primary objective to reduce energy intensity of the Indian economy and to develop policy and strategies in such a manner so that it can boost this purpose. So there are very programs which are implemented by BE since inception. So flagship programs of BE are some are like perform, achieve, and trade scheme, which I have earlier mentioned in the introduction. Also, that we have notified at approximately 30 sectors in this program. The standard and labeling program under which the tires are covered also now. The energy conservation building codes, which are the model codes for the buildings which are about to construction. We give them a model so that they can construct a building in such a manner that the energy efficiency should be higher and it consumes less and less energy. Another one is the certification of the energy professionals, where we create the energy professionals like energy manager and auditors. And in the series of the energy professionals, we are now introducing energy auditor buildings also. So those professionals will take care of the construction of the energy efficient buildings. And apart from all these programs, the energy efficiency in small and medium enterprises, transport, discoms are also programs which are taken up by the B. So, if we talk about the fuel efficiency programs which are implemented by BE, these are the first of the like the corporate average fuel efficiency norm, that is CAFE norms for the passenger cars. The first phase is already under implementation since April 2017, and second phase will be implemented April 2022. The norms for the fuel economy norms for the heavy duty vehicles were notified in 2017, and first phase was supposed to be implemented in 2018, but because of the revision of some axle weight limits, it was revised, and now because of this BS6 implementation, the revised notification is under process. Similarly, for the light and medium commercial vehicles, the norms were notified in 2019, but because of the BS6 implementation, these norms are being revised and is expected to implement from the 1st April 2022. Although the expected date for the implementation was 1st January of 2022, but because of the some procedural delay, and it is going to be 1st April 2022. So other fuel efficiency programs which we are working on the development of the CAFE norms for the two-wheelers, for the revision of the CAFE norms for the passenger for the next phases, and we are in the process of creating a carbon credit trading market for the automobile manufacturers also. And for the tractors also, we are developing the program for fuel efficiency. If for the essential program of BE, that is the program launched by Bureau of Energy Efficiency in 2006, and it is one of the most successful program in creating the demand side management through layman customers. And the objective of the scheme was to provide an informed choice to the customers about the energy saving, and based on their savings, they can find the saving potential of the product by you can see the star label on the appliances like AC and other fridge, etc. So it display the energy performance labels, and mostly those appliances or equipments which are high energy use, and which are mainly bought by the customers which are not technical, so they are not much aware about the energy consumption of that appliances. So till December 2020, we have approximately 10 numbers of equipments under mandatory regime, and under voluntary regime we have 80 numbers, and now the lithium and battery and tires are all included in December 2020. So totaling it to the 20 numbers. So first we talk about the standards, what are the standards. So in if we talk about the energy efficiency point of view, the energy efficiency standards are the procedures or regulation that are defined to for the energy of the manufactured products. So it sometimes requires to prohibit the manufacturing of such items which are less efficient and promoting the more efficient products in the market. So we can say that the standards mainly have two meanings. That is the well-defined protocols to obtain sufficiently accurate estimate of the energy performance of product, or we can say the target limit of energy performance, or either a maximum efficiency or a minimum efficiency based on a specified test protocol. So based on these parameters, we define the standard for any equipment or appliance. So, and if we talk about labels, that are the labels which are affixed on the product to inform, to provide an information about the energy conservation. So these information are pasted on labels, as you can see in the subsequent slides also. We are basically using two type of labels in the standard labeling program. One is the comparative label, which you have already seen on many appliances, that you can find the energy performance on that labels, and you can easily compare the two labels, and you can find which one is better and which one is less better. And another one is the endorsement label. In this label, we don't provide such detailed information, but it is an endorsement like that product are efficient, and you can promote using of those are the material, those are the labels. So for SNL program, what is the selection for the how we select the product or equipment for the inclusion in the standard and level program? So the aspect we keep in mind are the first of all the what is the impact of that equipment on the energy consumption. So if these equipments are like energy intensive equipments, we can say are being used daily in daily to daily life. So they should be covered in that standard labeling program. Another one is the impact on market. Means first we have to see that what is the market penetration of that product or the equipment. If the if the product is being sold in open market and being used by a large number of consumers, that should be our priority to include those equipments in this standard program. Another one is the potential for energy efficiency improvement, because if there is no potential for the saving, there will be no use of this program. So if it is available that it is if had potential to save the energy, then we will include those appliances or those equipment in our program. And last but not the least, that is the test procedures that are well defined. Test procedures should be in our country. So all the rationals are applicable to tires also, because as we see that approximately 20% of the total fuel consumption are the vehicles in because of the tires. Many studies have shown, and even manufacturers and OEMs are also aware of, must aware about this. So there is a and approximately 8% of the fuel consumption reduction is potential is from the tires only. The market is mainly dominated by the replacement market by the vehicle owners, which are the totally unaware about the stage about because of the less efficient tires. And if we could tap through this program, we can tap about 50% of the potential. Then also we can use a huge amount of fuels every year. So because all these things keeping in mind, and the technical committee was constituted by DGB under the chairmanship of EDPCRA. So members were from the PCRA, PIS, ITAC, and testing laboratory like ICAT, IRM, RA, and ARAI also. So objective was to develop a fuel efficiency program for the tires in India, and it was to be developed in the form of star rating of tires, as we we use the term standard and labeling program for the tires. So after a round of meeting and discussions, the schedule was drafted, and it was sent to the ministry for approval, and after due approval of the ministry, the program was launched. So scope of the program was the C1, C2, and C3 tires were covered under this program, which are tested under the AS 142. Mainly, we are taking two parameters. One is the rolling resistance and one is the wet grip index. Although the star rating band is based on the rolling resistance coefficient only, wet grip index we have taken as a safety parameter that all the tires which are participating in this scheme must comply with the minimum wet grip index value. So this is the table for the C1 type of tire. We have categorized it in two parts, that is the less than 14-inch diameter and equal or less than greater than 14-inch diameter. For C2 type, we have categorization like equal to or less than 14-inch diameter and greater than 14-inch diameter. And for the C3 tires, it is another table. Similarly, wet grip index for C1, C2, and C3 tires, we have taken it from the AS142 only. For the star rating bands, we have taken the upper limit for the the phase one of the AS 142, and for wet grip index, we have taken as it is value. So if we talk about the testing infrastructure available in India, that IRM RA, which have the rolling resistance capacity available, and wet grip is not available, although ICAT Manesar have both the testing facilities like rolling resistance and wet grip index also. I think ARAI has also the rolling resistance coefficient testing facility, but wet grip index, I am not aware about it. And in addition to all of the above, the manufacturers have in-house testing labs capacity in their premises also. So we will consider all the test report from the NABL accredited lab for this program, and we will consider the same further also. So this is the proposed label for the star rating of tires, and based on the discussion of the technical committee members, we have finalized the parameters to be displayed on this letter, that is the rolling resistance coefficient, based on which the star rating has to be issued, the tire class, the brand, the model year, tire size, and the pattern name. So earlier it was written as grip index, where that was removed because of the as per discussion with the committee members. And based on these things, the program was sent to the ministry, and that was finally launched by the minister Sri R.K. Singh and Honorable State Minister Sri Krishan Pal Singh on 14 December 2021 in National Energy Conservation Awards function. So if we talk about the process flow of the standard labeling program, so first the manufacturer has to register with B on the standard and labeling portal. First they have to register for the company, that is the company registration. You can see here. So after the company registration, they will be given a login credential, and based on their login credential, they have to apply for the model registration. But if after application of the model registration, the documents are scrutinized by the IEM, which we use a term that is Independent Agency for Monitoring and Evaluation. So that IEME scrutinize the application, and if there is any shortcoming, that is the inform to the manufacturer again. After so shortcomings has been completed, the star level approved by BE and the manufacturer are given permission to affix the label on the products. So we also perform the check testing process also. In check testing process, some of the samples are randomly picked from the market from the SDAs. SDAs are the state designated agency, which are the agencies, government bodies in the states, which are designated by Bureau of Energy Efficiency under the Energy Conservation Act, and that act as an for the enforcement of the act within their states. So the enforcement of the Energy Conservation Act in the hand of SDAs only, and the SDAs through the market surveillance pick some samples from the market, test them in the test agencies, and if the test pass, then the process ends. Nothing will be go forward. If fails, then the manufacturer is informed, and two more samples are picked by the SDAs, and that two more samples are tested again in the labs. If any of that model fails, then it is considered as the failure, and then the permission of the fixing the label that will be withdrawn by the VE. So this is our Bureau of Energy Efficiency's standard labeling portal, from where you can see the in the top level top main you can find the login button, one voluntary scheme and mandatory scheme. Also, there is a floating notification which is DISA document, which provide brief about the application procedure and other things. When you click on the voluntary scheme, you can find the list of schedules for the voluntary appliances. You can see the tires also, although this is a older version of the schedule. I will upload the modified one. And under mandatory scheme, you can find the documents for the mandatory appliances which are covered under the mandatory scheme. When you scroll your button to the login, you can find the option, and for the manufacturers, you can apply through the manufacturers button. Once you click on this button, you will find a login page. Here you will register as a new agency, and after registering the new agency, you will directed to a disclaimer page, and after disclaimer page, a portal will come, and that here you have to fill all the details. After filling all the details, you will submit the button, and that will be redirected to the payment page. After payment of the requisite fee, the process will be verified here in B, and after verification, the manufacturer will be registered on the BESN portal. After registration, they will be provided a login credential, and after login credential are provided, they can log in and register the models individually, and every model will be again go through the process as I have shown here. So the document will be scrutinized, and once there will be no shortcomings, then approval of the star label will be provided by the BE on this portal only. So this process is completely online. You need not to send. You need not any. You need not to send any hard copies. Although for our records, we recommend that you send the hard copies also to BE also, but the process which are happens completely on this portal only. So this is all about the standard learning program from PE from my side only, and if you have any queries, you may ask. Thank you, Siddharth.
Thank you, sir, for excellent presentation. We have received some question from our delegates. We will take a few questions on their behalf. So first question is, what is there any charges which is already fixed for voluntary phase also during the application?
See, the labeling fee was waived off as decided earlier. That is the only rupee 1 for per label, but the registration fee is not waived off, because registration fee is a one-time process. They have not need not to pay every time. But labeling fee have been waived out, but official communication will be sent through the. I think I have earlier have discussion with ICAT also. That will be clarified.
Okay. So I received one more question in my chat box. So like you mentioned, SDA will select the sample from market. So testing charges will be get deposited in advance while filing the application for this B labeling program. This is the question. Means
yes, when SDA pick the sample from the market, first time the costing charge has to be borne by the BE or SDA only. That has to be not borne by the manufacturer. If if first in first instance the test fails, then manufacturer are informed, and then only the two samples were tested. That cost, that testing cost has to be borne by the manufacturer.
Okay, and like you mentioned in this program, you are just considering RR test results produced by the NABL accredited lab. So it is valid for ILAC also, means for international player as well, means.
Yes, yes. I think the same has been mentioned in schedule also, which is circulated earlier. So which are the labs which are the signatory of the ILAC or APLAC, the test report of those labs are also considered.
So you mean to say they have to give you the RR test results in terms of report. Wet grip report is mandatory to submit, as it's not a requirement. You had mentioned it's
See,
a
as we have,
yeah.
yes, yes, wet grip next we have taken as a safety factor, so that report has to be submitted also. So that to ensure that wet grip is in the limit, although that is not being displayed on the label as recommended by the manufacturers.
Okay. And I one very received very obvious question means what would be the start date for this program? Like it's you mentioned it's already launched.
Yes, yes.
So is
Actually,
there any
the start date is the 14 December itself. It is the started from the date of launch only, and will be for initially it is supposed to be for the 2 years, but it is now 1 year for the voluntary phase.
okay? So this cover only C1, C2, and C3 tire, not retreaded tire. This is also one query.
Sorry.
I have one query from Mr. Raju Mathur. Our treated tire can also be tested under this program.
Sorry, I don't get it. R-rated as means what?
Means there is a used tire, then the tread can be retreaded for further use after some time.
Okay. No. That is applicable only for the new tires only, newly manufactured tires.
Okay. So just one, I'm getting one more question. Just a minute, sir. It's popping up. So I have one question from Mr. Adarsh. This leveling program is applicable only for replacement market or OE supply tires also?
Initially, it is for the replacement market only, because the label which are to be fixed on the tires are for those which who for the customers who buy the tire from the market. For the OEMs, it is not mandatory, because the tires are only fixed to the OEMs only. So this is for the open market only and not for the OEMs.
Okay. Next question we have from Mr. Prasanjit. Can any laboratory having NABL accreditation do the RR test and wet grip test as per AIS 142?
If they have a testing facility, they can do.
Means that if any manufacturer has NABL accredited test facility for RR and wet grip, they can perform the test and submit the report to
Yes.
BE.
Yes.
Okay. Actually, I'm getting some more questions, so we have time. So we'd like to take few more. There is one question: Is it applicable for import tire also? Like as I mentioned, for foreign manufacturing players.
Yes.
Okay, so this
Yes, for
question
imported tires also, which will be sold in the Indian market.
Indian market. So they can submit a report tested in-house, and they can upload the report on BE portal.
Yes.
Okay, I'm getting some more questions. I received one question from Mr. Amit Kumar. Does it mean mandatory phase start after 1 year, or this will be decided later?
See, as decided at this time, the voluntary phase will be for 1 year only. But before starting the mandatory phase, we have to go through some processes like a technical committee meeting. The technical committee will take call and we will review all the testing infrastructure available in India. What is the current market scenario? What is the so there are several things which have to be checked earlier because of voluntary phase is basically a preparatory phase. So we is the manufacturers to go through the process so that they can be aware what is standard leveling program, how to go participate in that program, and what is the testing facility available, what are the shortcomings which are coming in the implementation of the program. So once before starting the mandatory phase, the technical committee will take call on those issue which are arises due to implementation of the voluntary phase, and then only so it as decided earlier it is for 1 year, but it may possible that it may go further, or it may start from just after 1 year also.
Okay.
So that is the decided by technical committee.
Yeah, thank you. So next question is like for RRC, RR report to be submitted for each size or for one product line? This question is from Mr. Manoj.
If you are defining a family in which there are several tires, and you are in the family of tires, you have to submit the report of the base model only, or we can say the worst case criteria only. But if the model changes, then you have to submit the report for the every model also.
Every model. Oh, thank you. And next question is from Mr. Mani Kandan. Only tire labeling based on RRC is rolled out now. Discussion were happened for RR, noise, and wet grip. I think a discussion was happened only. Yeah, you answer better, I think.
I think that discussion was happened in technical committee also, and it was decided that earlier we have at this time we will take the RRC only for the star rating band, and if situation allows, then we can include the noise and bed group also. So as of now, the star rating band is based on RRC only. In later stage, we will see.
Okay. So next question we have from Mr. Ishu. What is the lead time from application to the grant of certificate?
Usually we try to process the application within 15 to 13 days, but it depends on the situation, and also the most of the applications processed in 15 to that time slot also, that only. So it
Okay,
not
sir.
take much time in the process of the applications.
Understood. Thank you. So next question is, what is the model mentioned in the label, pattern in also mentioned in label? He's talking about I think the sticker which is awarded by the designed by the BE. What is model mentioned in the label? Pattern is also mentioned in the label. This is the question, I think.
Yes. The model which has to be I think in the third row, the model and the year, that is defined here, and the pattern name also. The pattern name as asked by the committee, so we included the pattern name also.
So yeah, one more question we received. Do we need to submit test report every year?
No. Once at the time of application only, you have to submit the application. And if there is change in band, then only a declaration, just a process starts that you have to apply, and this just is to go verified only. You need not to submit the test report every year.
Next question we have from Mr. Pradeep. Can we submit the RR test results from NABL Indian lab and wet grip report from international lab?
I think the testing has to be done in a single lab only. If such type of issue occur, then we have to check. Such type of scenario has not occurred since date.
Okay.
But if yes, if grip is tested in the ILAC signatory lab, then that will be considered also.
And also, like if manufacturer have a foreign-based test report, if I'm getting the correct their question, so B will accept that report as it is for a B labeling program.
Yes, yes.
Means, as much I understood his question, if there is some EC report as per 117, or we can say our in-house test report as per EC or other international standards, so it would be accepted as it is for B labeling program.
I think we have mentioned an test report in the schedule also, that is an annexure, and they have to declare a value of the rolling resistance. And to support their values, they have to submit the test report. So as I said earlier, that if the test laboratory is ILAC or APLAC signatory lab, then their test report is also valid in this program. So they need not to retest their samples in an Indian lab, that is an accredited lab. They have to submit. They can submit that report of that also.
Thank you. One more question that is looks interesting. Question is like, if report is old one, like not issued with current date, maybe 2-year, 3-year old, so it would be accepted for B labeling program.
See, if the program is being started at this time and they have launched the model earlier, so the testing report of that time also can be considered. They need not to retest and renew the test report to apply for that starting.
Okay, you mean to say test report should be dated after the 14th of December, if I'm correct, because program was launched on 14th December.
Yes, program was launched on 14 December, but if the model was launched earlier to the 14 December, say in 2020, so they must tested the tires in 2020, so they can submit the report of 2020 also. That will be considered.
Okay. What is the validity of this star marking? Is there any validity for this marking?
The validity is same as the voluntary period validity. If that will be extended, that will be notified later.
Okay. So I think we had taken many questions. So keeping a view of time limitation, we will close this question session now. And I would request to at audience, they can send their query through the mail so that we can address one-to-one. So thank you very much, Pankaj ji, for your valuable time and delivering very informative presentation. It was a pleasure to have you with us. Thank you, everyone. I hope you found this session informative and useful. Thanks again for joining us during this difficult time. We will see you next time. Thank you. Have a nice day. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Jai Hind. Thank you.
Thank you, Siddharth ji. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Pankaj ji. Take care.